got the church, you got the man, you got the woman, you got the children, you got the cars, you got the luxury of life, and all I carry is a slingshot and 5 smooth stones, and you hating on me. But somebody just say, favor just ain't fair. You'd be amazed how many folks just hating on you just because they think they know your story. They're watching you and they heard about you, but they really don't know you. They see what you drive, they see where you live, they see what you have, but really they don't know everything you got. You have to scratch, fight for to have what you have. They don't know the glory that's behind your story. Do not recognize the hell that you had to go through to possess your coat. Do not realize what you had to lose to gain. Do not realize what you had to be. Do not realize the sickness you had to go through. Do not realize what kept you up at night. Do not realize your struggle. Do not realize your fight. Why are you hating on me? Oh Lord, and then God begins now, the same individual, young Joseph, the baby boy, God begins to deal with him in dreams at the age of 17 years old. And his dreams got him into trouble because he told his dreams to his brethren and they hated him even the more. He told his dreams to his father. His own father could not even understand it. Isn't it amazing how your dreams will get you into trouble? But let me tell you something, your dreams are not meant to tell everybody. Everything that God gives you, everything that God says to you is not meant for everybody to know. Some things God will deal with you individually. Your dreams, everybody's not going to understand your dream. You don't even understand your dreams half of the time. How you going to tell somebody else your dream? It's amazing, but I dare anybody in this house to be a dreamer. Any dreamers in the house today? I'm dreaming one day that I will be successful. I'm dreaming one day all of my children will be saved in the church. Lifting up holy hands saying, what must I do to be saved? I'm dreaming one day. Y'all ain't hear what I'm saying. I'm dreaming one day for my brothers to come out of the crack house. And I'm dreaming one day for my sister to get off of drugs and come off of that alcohol bottle. I'm dreaming for one day for my children to realize there's nothing greater than Jesus Christ in their life. I'm dreaming. Anybody dreaming in this place? I'm dreaming I ain't got to look at the hospital no more. I'm dreaming I ain't got to take no more pills. And I'm dreaming I ain't got to do no more shots. I'm dreaming of a place where God can bless me. Any dreamers in the building right now? Don't let nobody take your dream. So just because he was dreaming, his brothers had plotted to kill him. The other brothers was out there in the field, and Joseph stayed behind with his father. The father says, go out there and check up on them knucklehead boys out there. Go out there and see if they really weren't going to waste in time. So here comes Joseph. He's on the way. And matter of fact, the boys, the brothers, they see their brother coming from a distance. And they say, here comes this dreamer. Here comes this individual that's always getting into trouble. Here comes this person who's always talking off the wall. Let's kill him. That's what they wanted to do. You got some folk even in your family that's trying to kill your dream. You got some folk that's close to you. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. They want to kill what God has birthed on the inside of you. And so finally the older brother steps up. Reuben said, no, we can't kill him, y'all, for he is our brother. Let's just build a pit and put him in the pit and keep him there and go have a lunch and come back, and then we'll see what we'll do with him later on. And so they ripped off his coat. So look at your neighbor, say they ripped it off. How many folks got some stuff ripped off from them? Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Anybody ever felt that moment when you got it ripped off from you? But in the manger they may have took the coat, but they could not take the favor that was on his life. See, you can have all this, God. I hope that you better preach for making myself happy up here. See, Sister Linda, they can take all the coats, they can take the jewelry, they can take the cars, they can take all that, but what you can't take is what God has birthed inside of me. Because what you see on the outside is just a result of what God has placed on the inside. That's why I don't lose my mind, Sister Debbie, when I lose some stuff. Because I say just moving out the way for something bigger and better in my life. That's why I don't mind, Lord Hawkins, you better preach it here, boy. That's why I don't mind Deacon Griffiths going around the way. That's why I don't mind folk trying to cut in front of me, because I know whatever God got for me. You ought to high five somebody and say, whatever God got for me, tell them it's for me. And so they took the coat. They took the coat. But guess what, brothers? They could not take the favor. Can I talk to my brothers in the house? They may have took your coat once upon a time. They may have took some things that belong to you. But one thing can't nobody take from you. They something is ticking. Something is moving on the inside of you. You've been through it. You've been through trials. You've been through tests. Oh, but you want to man up and say, look at me now. Look at me now. I've been through some stuff, but look at me now. I'm still in the house of God. They may took the coat, but you cannot touch my favor. Look at somebody say, let it go and live. I got to move on this thing. So what they did, they hated on him, and they said, well, Mother Griffiths, we ain't going to kill him, but we going to sell him out. Anybody ever been sold out? Thought some folk was on your side, but they sold you out. Thought some people was working on for you, but they sold you out. Thought some people was there for you, but they sold you out. Sold him to the Ishmaelites, but we had him going to Egypt, and so now he's in Egypt, and he's sold to an officer by the name of Potiphar. And not just sold to him, but he got favor, followed him. I come to tell you now, see, wherever you go, favor gonna follow you. All right, all right. Ooh, Lord, I feel like preaching. Wherever you go, I want you to say this to yourself. Say, wherever I go, favor gonna follow. Now, I don't mean go to the bar. I don't mean go to the club. Come on now, I gotta help some folk. I got a young church, you know, and got some folk will be in there shaking everything that their mama didn't give them, and tell them, well, favor's still with me. No. You got to stay in the will of God, and favor will follow you. Y'all hear what I'm saying on that one, right? So wherever he went, favor followed. Say, favor followed. Favor followed. So now he's with Potiphar, and even though he's a prisoner, he still goes up rank. Even though he's there, not under his own will, but yet still God begins to bless. So I don't care where you are, God can bless me where I'm at. Don't matter how many people are here in the church. Don't matter who's coming. Don't matter who ain't coming. Wherever I'm positioned at, God can bless me right where I'm at. I ain't got to be on top to be blessed. I ain't got to be first to be blessed. I ain't got to have the masses to be blessed. All I got to do is stay in the will of God. Folk will look at you and say, how you get yours? God gave me mine. And I didn't have to lie for it. I didn't have to sneak no way for it. I didn't have to pimp my way for it. I didn't have to abuse nobody to get it. So you got somebody say, God gave it to me. And how many know whenever God give it to you, can't nobody take it away from you? So he's working for Potiphar, and he's working for Potiphar. Potiphar, he's an officer, he's a general in the army, and so but here's this young son. Now understand something. Joseph's only 17 years old. So I'm talking to my young people. He's a 17-year-old boy. He's working, he has a job, and Potiphar gave him responsibility over the whole house. But little, ain't it just like that? Even when it look good, even when it seems peaceful in your life, the devil always got somebody. I wish I could help a church that had to experience some stuff. Even when you got the job, you know, the house, but always, ain't it always one? Ain't always, it's always one, always somebody. Look at somebody say, it's always just one. You always gonna have one. I don't care where you go, it's always gonna be just one. He come Potiphar now. What he had, Brandon? He had a hot wife. She was hot in every different way. Now I'm just for y'all spiritual folks, because I can help y'all come down a little bit. Now he's an officer. She had to be fine. Right. Come on now. Come on. See how I was off, amen. See how fast, see how y'all went? See how y'all got quiet? She was fine. Right. Ain't you fine? Okay, all right then. You ain't the only one. Come on now. I'm trying to build this up. I mean, I ain't saying, she was something else. I'm trying to help my story now. She was fine. But if you're a Commodore fan, she was built like a brick house. Okay, now I got me. Okay, I felt it now. I got it now. I'm still on this side. She was built like a brick house, and she was looking at this 17-year-old. If you was born in the 80s and 90s, she was looking at this 17-year-old tenderoni. That was before your time, girl. You know about that. She was looking at this 17-year-old tenderoni, and she just said, I got that. But she's a married woman. Joseph is a 17-year-old young man. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Throwing herself at him. Throwing herself at him. Said, the boss gone. Come on now, y'all hear what I'm saying. 17 years old. But he had enough God in him to say, I can't do it. She said, I can't do this against my boss. And more importantly, I can't do this against my God. Let me tell you something. If you want to keep the blessing, don't take nothing that don't belong to you. Let that woman have her husband. Let that woman have, let that man have his wife. Let them have it. What belongs to you is going to come to you. You ain't got to never take nothing that don't belong. As we learned in kindergarten, keep your hands. I'll get an amen in the corner somewhere. Keep your hands to yourself. Come on now. And so she got real upset. Ain't nothing. If you really, I don't want to go there. She got upset because Joseph was turning her down. And most women don't know how to be turned down. Woo! My brothers, let me help y'all today. Let me help y'all today. Oh, let me help y'all today. Let me help y'all today. Let me help y'all today. Boy, don't no woman like to be rejected. Y'all ain't hear what I'm saying. Y'all can look at me. Y'all can look at me. Y'all just look down. Y'all can look at me. Don't no woman like to be rejected. And she said, wait a minute. I'm fine as wine. I got my hair, my nails, my makeup. And you gonna turn down all of this? 17? What would y'all do? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. She fine. And here she is. Here she is saying, hey, whatever you want to do, here it is. I'm trying to help somebody. Because everybody think everything new. Come on now. Come on now. So Joseph said, I still can't do it. And sometimes you can't talk your way out of situations. So what did Joseph do? He said, I'm getting up out of here. Some of y'all need to get up out where you at. You need to get up out where you at. Get up out. Stop trying to compromise. Stop trying to say, well, we can work this thing out. That boy ran out there so fast, the girl grabbed him by the coat jacket and left his coat. And when he got there, he got lied on. Talking about he tried to come on me. He tried to take advantage of me. And so what was Potiphar supposed to do? But I believe in Potiphar's heart, he knew exactly Joseph didn't do nothing. Because he knew the kind of woman he had. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. See, folk need to be real. Folk need to be real. Folk need to be real. He knew what kind of woman he had. And so now, Joseph, he's in prison. Y'all take your seat. Let me just talk for just 5 more minutes. I'm going to get y'all out of here. Y'all relax for a minute. So now he's in prison. So being sold, to being in prison, and now he's in prison. But even in prison, favor followed him. Somebody say, even in prison. Favor followed him. So he's in prison and he becomes the head guard. He becomes the head guard of the prison. Ain't that so? Being blessed in prison. But favor followed him. And there was a butler there and there was a baker there. And the wine bearer, the cupbearer for the king, and the baker was there. And Joseph had exposed his gift. Cut through the chase. That he knew how to interpret dreams. And once they saw that he was of God, because they believed in that time that God is the only one that can give you the confirmation of how to reveal dreams. And so don't you know that verse says that your gift will make room for you. See, I don't care where you are. See, a lot of people can't use a gift not unless they're on the podium somewhere. Oh, y'all finna help somebody now. But I don't care where you are, let your gift shine. I don't care if you're in the back of the grocery store, you let your gift shine. See, everything I'm doing now, which is in public, see, I've been preaching ever since I was young, but I'm now doing it in public. Y'all ain't hear what I'm saying. Ain't been saved all my life, but I found myself all the time in private. It's amazing what you practice in private. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. It's amazing what you practice by yourself. And then when you get to the point where you can use your gift in public. And see what was happening now, he was practicing his gift in prison. It was only between 2 people. Didn't nobody know about his gift. But it wasn't time for his gift to be exposed. See, that's why you got to wait on God. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Because you can be gifted, but if you get out there at the wrong time, you can destroy yourself and other people. You got to make sure you're primed and ready on not just being gifted, but how to use your gift. And so he interprets the dream, and so all of a sudden one dies, the other goes back to the king. But now here comes old Pharaoh. Somebody say Pharaoh. Pharaoh had dreams that none of his counselors could interpret. But the butler remembered Joseph and had mentioned him to Pharaoh. And then when Joseph was called to appear before Pharaoh, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream by predicting 7 years of plentiful food, followed by 7 years of famine. And he also advised Pharaoh to appoint a commissioner to store and supplies during the plentiful years. Now, to Joseph's surprise, Pharaoh appointed him. Now, let me get this straight. You're talking about a nobody. You're talking about an individual who was sold out and who was in prison. His family couldn't stand on nobody but his daddy. And he was in a pit. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. He was brought out. He was sold out. He was falsely accused. He did some time in jail. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Made some mistakes in the eye, you hear what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden you're going to promote him to the second highest person in the position of the whole land. That's why it don't matter what folks say about you. You better stay with God. And when you stay with God, it don't matter what come your way, rather if it's hell or high water. How many know God can make a way out of no way? When folk ain't studying you, when folk trying to write you off, I know God sees the best in me. Does not matter what folks say. Does not matter about my education. Don't matter about who my daddy was. Don't matter who my mama was. If God be for you, how many know he's more than the world against you? You want to give yourself a praise break right about there. Oh! Give yourself a praise break. And so, to his surprise, 3 minutes, I'm going to wrap this thing up. To his surprise, Pharaoh appointed him to the position of great prestige. And so under Joseph's care, many supplies were stored and the land prospered, and Joseph was given many comforts, including a servant and a wife. And when the famine struck Joseph, he was second only to Pharaoh in power. People from all over the surrounding lands came for food and came to buy for Joseph. Now understand this, what has happened? You talking about a nobody, but just almost overnight. Now understand, not overnight, but in 13 years span, he became the second highest person in the whole world. Well, I got to say the whole world because Egypt was the most powerful land in the universe. Pharaoh was the top guy of all the universe. And you was under Pharaoh. So that makes you the second. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. But you got to understand, I'm talking about a nobody. A nobody, but who knew somebody. Anybody's a nobody, but I know somebody. I may not be much, but I know somebody. I'm not the smartest, but I know somebody. I made mistakes in my past, but I know somebody. I got haters on the right and left, but guess what? I know somebody. And you better not deal with God folk. But I hear the word say, touch not thy anointed. And you better not do his prophet no harm. How many know God's on your side? How many really believe I got a God that is on my side? Yes, indeed. And so the famine got so bad. Now y'all remember them brothers, right? The famine got so bad that the famine had reached Joseph's hometown. It had reached where his father was. It had reached where those hateful brothers was. And so they didn't have any choice because Egypt was the only place that had food. So Jacob said, sons, y'all go there and y'all go get some food or we gonna die. Lord help me preach. And you know, in order for them to get some food, they had to go through the same person who they rejected. Lord, I'm helping about 3 people right now. Sister Linda, in order for them to survive, they had to go through the same person that they couldn't stand. That ought to help somebody right there. They had to go through the same person that they had through in the pits. They had to go through, in order for them to survive, Brother Don, they had to go through that same person who they was hating on. That's why you got to be careful how you treat people. I don't care how they look. I don't care how they smell. I don't care what they do. Y'all hear what I'm saying? But we got to treat everybody right. Because you just don't know who you got to mess with. You don't know who's going to approve your loan. You don't know who's going to help you with your bills. You don't know who's going to give you an open hand. That's why you got to be careful. I ain't talking about just church folks now. Y'all come on back down now. I'm talking about folks on the street. Y'all got to treat them right too. Because you just don't know who God is making for your tomorrow. You just don't know who God is going to use to bring you out of darkness and pull you in the marvelous light. Yeah, that same prostitute you used to pass up. You just don't know God put an anointing on that girl's life. That same drug addict you passed up. You just don't know God may put an anointing upon their life. And when God anoints him,